from WBNE.
Howdy, Oaks. Before we get started today, we want to let you know that this show is Bacon and Eggs. It's a movie lovers podcast. If it's your first time hanging out with us, we're super glad you're here. This week we're talking about the fantastic Mr. Fox. It's Oscar season. We thought Wes Anderson would be in the Oscars more than he is.
Which is none.
So this is kind of like, well, but here's what we try to do on this show. We try to review movies that are available streaming, and if they're not, we try to tell you where you can watch them and for how much. This one is available streaming on Disney Plus, at least as of 9:27 p.m. on February 8th, 2022. If it's your first time here, welcome. This is how the show works. We're going to start off talking about the movie. And then, I don't know, man. It could go anywhere. It could go up. It could go down. It could go violet sky. But it's going to go somewhere.
I could be brown, I could be blue, I could be violet sky, I could be hurtful, I could be purple, I could be anything you like.
When you're done with this episode, you're like, man, I want to listen to another one. Just scroll through the back catalog, find a movie you've seen or find a movie maybe you want to see. But everything in this show is full of spoilers, unless otherwise indicated. Anyway, thank you for listening, and let's go. Howdy, yokes, and welcome back to Bacon and Eggs. I'm Tyler Carlin.
And I'm Ethan Edgehill.
And today we're stealing chickens.
Or maybe we're just proving ourselves to our fathers.
So do your meditation.
And get your tail back.
Because today we're bringing you
Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Ethan, the fantastic Mr. Fox was directed by Wesley Anderson. It came out on November 25th, 2009. 4,000.
Is he Irish?
Wes Anderson.
Wesley Anderson, you tomfool. Come here.
November 25th, 2009, just 4,458 days ago. 1 year prior to, turns out, Toy Story 3. $40 million budget, $46 million box office, 93% critic rating, 85% audience rating on Rotten Tomatoes, and an 83 on Metacritic. Do you have a negative review from a professional critic?
Yeah, totally, definitely. Deborah Ross of The Spectator says, the animation is beautiful, the attention to detail, a thing of wonder. The story's a mess, the script is banal, and just as visually stunning as it all is, it just doesn't seem to have any kind of soul.
Can I tell you this?
Yeah.
Deborah Ross and I think, would write the exact same review.
Of course you would.
But I would give it a positive score.
Yeah, of course you would. Tyler, I want you to hang on a second. I know we've got one of our favorites here gave it a positive review, but I would love for you to read me this positive review by Richard Brody.
Is there somebody else who's one of our favorites? Oh, Peter Rayner gave a positive review.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But this positive review of a movie by Richard Brody.
Yeah. Richard Brody of The New Yorker says, visually, the movie is a wonder. With its profusion of detail and exquisitely focused performances by the figurines, whom Anderson frames in images as precisely composed as those in his live-action work. I'm Dick Brody for The New Yorker.
The addition of the focused in there was pretty nice.
That is pretty good.
That's pretty good.
That was something I thought was great. No, here's what I love. I don't know. You know, we used to do breakfast foods to describe movies. That's actually kind of the direction I want to go with this because it's how I feel about it. This movie has all the depth and deliciousness of a fantastic art house. Yeah, I mean, the cinematography is on a whole nother level, but also the sets are so painfully simple. They're like missing pieces. It's like, what is the few? It's almost like stage work, you know. It's what are the fewest amount of things we can use to tell the story. And the cinematography, the colors, everything is so beautiful. The animation is fantastic. The dolls or whatever they are, figurines, move in such a convincing way. I love all the little things that make it sort of, you know, like reminding you like you're watching a piece of art right now. On the same time, though, what I love about it is completely paper thin. the music is one or two tracks. The vocal tracks are not, they don't sound like they're mixed to be super deep. You know, the story is so simple. You know, it's bad guy versus fox. You know, I don't know. It was kind of I'm going to sound like that kid in his first day of philosophy class, but it's like when you get this duality that meets each other, I don't know. I think it's a very interesting.
Yeah, no, just the interesting part of this movie really just comes to the intersection of man and fox, honestly. You know, it's really, they showed us what Rudyard Kipling first showed us when he wrote The Jungle Book, is that animal and man can be friend if given the right opportunity. But given the wrong opportunity, animal and man will always be enemy.
And that's what we're seeing here. That being said, I'd never seen this before. I'm sure you have.
I have, but it's been a long time.
You'd say
I would have
probably
previously
since
listed this among my
2009.
least favorite Wes Anderson movies.
And today, where would you rank it?
Maybe, let's see. Maybe fourth out of 9?
I've seen 3.
Grand Budapest, Isle of Dogs, and this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I know that makes me like a lesser film person.
No, not at all. I actually want to talk about the role and the position of Wes Anderson in the like art house thing, but that is a topic that I would like to discuss later. So it does not make you less of a film person at all. I like this better than Isle of Dogs, and I think this is the first time I would have ever said that.
I think the more time passes, the more I was not in love with Isle of Dogs.
Same, honestly. You get, because it on the surface level, and it is part of what I love about Wes Anderson. On the surface level, it's easy to get lost in the style of it, both live action and stop motion. Easy to get lost in the style of it, in the framing, the shots, the colors, and the always star-studded cast list, right? Especially in the animated ones in Mr. Fox and in Isle of Dogs. You get to play that game a lot where you're like, that is. You know, and especially in Isle of Dogs, because like there's all the dogs are like some huge actor.
Yeah. He does a really good job of nailing down what I think is like a certain kind of A+ list that I would have a hard time, like, who would I even put in this category?
I mean, he's the Horace Slughorn of directors, right? He's got his little club of people that he always calls on.
Well, Adam Sandler's that too, but if Rob Schneider was in this,
sure,
it would be a different movie. Although, I'll tell you this, Rob Schneider, I think gets a bad rap.
But I don't disagree with you here. But, like, Wes Anderson is this guy in the simple reason that, like, obviously he picks the stars, but, like, a specific brand of stars. But he's also not afraid to take a gamble on a good bat bogey hex.
Correct.
Like, he's got guys that he has made into, like, Jason Schwartzman, right? He has almost single-handedly, with a little bit of help from Edgar Wright, who's essentially just, they're different genres of the same guy.
Edgar Wright is Vin Diesel's Wes Anderson.
Like, they're different fonts of the same dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, with Jason Schwartzman, made by Wes Anderson, and serves a fairly prominent role in all of his films, and it just like delivers these performances every time. Yeah, that's your Ginny Weasley, right? That's your good bat bogey hex.
Yeah.
Of actors.
But you've also got Clooney in here.
But you've always got a get guy, right? You've got Clooney. In Grand Budapest, you had Ralph Fiennes. In Isle of Dogs, you had Bryan Cranston, right? You have your...
I wouldn't say Clooney's the get guy here. I would say Meryl Streep's the get guy here.
Well, absolutely.
I would say Clooney is the leading the... Clooney and Bill Murray are like the you are the Wes Anderson people in this.
Yeah, but Clooney's only ever done this.
Really?
Yeah.
That's weird to me. I would
Yeah.
have thought that this is where like Clooney really
No,
found
Clooney
his
and Streep
pace.
have only ever done this. Everybody else, I believe, is a featured player.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, he's almost like a theater company of movies.
Yeah.
Because it's not a cinematic universe, right? Like, they obviously there's no reason they can't all exist together, but like it is not, they're not intertwined in any way.
No, so
Give me a 0 to 100. We didn't do that.
I like this a lot. It satisfies a very certain craving very well.
Yeah.
89?
I was gonna go flat 90.
Yeah. I think that's the exact scores we did last week, if I'm being honest with you.
Movie is delightful, honestly.
Yeah, I watched it over 2 sittings, and it's short, which is always,
All of his movies are.
I know,
Yeah.
short is always good. Oh no, last week we were 79 and 80.
It is yeah, well, we were one off, yeah.
Yeah.
It really is almost like, just like Edgar Wright is a different font of Wes Anderson, this is like a different font of Pixar movie.
No, I disagree there.
Really?
This maybe of Luca, but this is so much lower stakes than every Pixar movie.
Not necessarily the stakes, but in the like degree of personification that it occurs.
I don't know. I actually still disagree. I feel like throughout this whole movie, you are playing this balancing act of how much am I thinking of these characters as animals and how much am I thinking of them as people who are portrayed by animals.
Right.
And I think that's what makes this movie so good. Whereas,
That's also what makes Finding Nemo so good. And Luca.
No, in Finding Nemo, I think about Marlin as a person who is stuck in a fish's body.
But you don't feel that way about Mr. Fox.
No, by the end of it, I still don't know. Am I supposed to think of him more as a fox or as a person?
Okay, so maybe not. I'm not talking about the level of humanification, but more the level of like the foxes have a vibrant, the animals have a vibrant real estate market.
Yes.
Like that, the whole setup feels very Pixar to me.
Well, it's very similar to Finding Nemo, like to a T.
Yeah, yeah.
The first scene is them talking about having a baby and almost dying. The difference
like, yeah,
is
it's,
in this, they survive.
It feels like it is. If you could understand the trombone noises in Charlie Brown, this feels like like Finding Nemo, but as like an adult might see it.
Yeah. I love the. Yeah, I expected to think a lot more about Chicken Run watching this.
I could see that.
When somebody, I didn't know what this was about, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And so somebody, or I read the synopsis or something, and it was like, oh, it's about a fox who steals chickens, and it's stop motion, and I was like, oh, so it's like Chicken Run.
It's like Chicken. It's not like Chicken Run at all.
But it's not like Chicken Run at all.
Yeah.
Chicken Run never came to my mind.
No, no. It is not like Chicken Run at all. It is about a fox that does like crime.
Right. But it's not like, oh, it's George Clooney and it's about a heist. Oh, it's like Ocean's 11. No, it's not like
It's
Ocean's
more
11.
like Ocean's 11 than Chicken Run.
It's more like Ocean's 11 than Chicken Run, but it's also not at all
Hey, Kayla,
like
just go ahead and
Ocean's
write that
11.
one down, bud.
It's more like Ocean's 11 than Chicken Run, but it's not like, it's not Soderbergh in any way, which is
No,
a
it is
different
not. It's
font
not an action
of-
movie either.
Yeah, and Soderbergh is a different font of Edgar Wright. Just imagine instead of bell bottoms, it's Caravan.
Except when I think of Caravan, I don't even think of Oceans anymore. I think of Whiplash.
Oh man, you want to talk?
Because that is a caravan recording right there.
J.K. Simmons has another nomination this year for a role I'll have to see.
Yeah, we got to watch The Power of the Dog.
Yeah, that's way high on my list.
No, that's not the one he's in. He's in Being the Ricardos.
Is it? Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it got nominated only for acting awards, which I think is so interesting. So Nicole Kidman got nominated for playing Lucille Ball, and Javier Bardem got nominated for playing Desi Arnaz, and J.K. Simmons got nominated for something for that movie. But like, I don't think it got any other nomination. Maybe something, techie.
J.K. Simmons is our fraternity brother.
I know. He will go down. He will go down as like, because people don't talk about him the same way they talk about Giamatti, right? Like, he is a fantastic character actor, but he's never gotten that degree of respect.
It's
that Giamatti does.
I would say if I were in a room with J.K. Simmons and Paul Giamatti, I would think there'd be a longer line to get signatures from J.K. Simmons.
If I was in a room with Paul Giamatti and J.K. Simmons, I would consider myself quite lucky.
I would consider myself.
I would
very
be
lucky.
If it was just the three of us, man. They're nary a room I'd like to be in more. Honestly,
I'd be like, hey, Paul Giamatti, I want you to answer questions.
It's like, I don't want to hang out with Tom Cruise.
No, Tom Hanks though.
If you gave me Tom Hanks, now would you rather have Simmons or Giamatti with Tom Hanks? Simmons,
Easy.
no brainer. That combination.
Yeah.
That's the modern day Plato and Aristotle, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I would get them in a room and ask them about. I would ask Tom Hanks.
How do I just be better? Not a better actor, like a better human.
Yeah.
How do I be a citizen of the world better?
I mean, there's a lot of things I could do to be better. I spend a lot of time doing this podcast and watching movies for this podcast. I could invest time and money into it.
That's true. I thought you were about to say you could do something else.
Oh.
And I was like, I don't know, Tyler. As far as decreasing world
show.
As far as decreasing world suck goes, I think this is the thing you do the best.
I would hope so. I've thought about taking this show and making it like a full-on charity organization, but not at the same time. Like, I've definitely.
Okay, I was gonna say I gotta get through this wedding first.
Well, let me ask you this: have you ever thought about Bacon and Eggs as we teach underprivileged people and provide resources for underprivileged people to make digital media and then specialize in...
I really thought you were about to say we teach underprivileged people to watch art films for some reason.
To watch Whiplash. This is what privileged people get. Is this what you want?
These people get to go to private college in New York City, baby.
And get yelled at by J.K. Simmons. You get verbally abused.
Now, so we've talked about it before. I would let Terrence Fletcher throw a symbol at me. Would you let J.K. Simmons throw a symbol at you?
Oh, 100%. If J.K. Simmons came to me and was like, listen, man, you want to know what you're missing? You know what you're missing. He could get me to tell me what I'm missing.
He'd be better than therapist because you trust him.
Because I trust him implicitly.
Implicitly. Anyway, I hope he wins for Best Supporting Actor.
I've never seen the part. I'm sure it's great.
A lot of people didn't like that movie.
Which movie was this again? I don't even know.
Being the Ricardos.
I guess we'll have to see it and find out.
So far, but that being said, so far it's really only been seen by film people as far as I could tell.
Yeah. Well, we're supposed to be in that circle though. We're supposed to dip our toe in more than the lady.
And I'll be 100% honest with you. I like this movie better than the new Wes Anderson movie, which is live action.
The French Dispatch?
Yeah.
I've heard it was not that good.
It was fine. I mean, it was visually stunning. Obviously, he's really, as far as live action movies goes, he's got the formula dialed in.
I think he's got the formula on these stop motion films pretty dialed in.
No, I agree. But like the progression from Moonrise Kingdom to Grand Budapest to the French Dispatch, it's just like you could teach Wes Anderson now, like in a college. Like you could teach a whole class on like the Wes Anderson
I taught a whole class on Little Did He Know.
style guide. You know, there's some fantastic shots, and I could watch a whole movie about one of the vignettes in it, but yeah, it failed to hold my attention, honestly.
I'm sorry to hear that. I wish
Yeah.
that wasn't the case.
I mean, I enjoyed watching it. I would watch it again. And honestly, that's what I kind of like about these movies is that like they are all extremely low stakes.
But that's, I think, what makes this one so good is it's so good.
So I would like to briefly have a conversation about pretension and about art films and about Wes Anderson's place in that, because I truly think he gets an unfair rap as far as the film bro movie side of it goes. Like people writing him off because they are film bro movies.
Yeah, it's because it's such low-hanging fruit, right?
Yeah, because it's weird and it's, you know, it's all the same actors and they're playing strange characters and everything's weird and it's all low stakes and there's, you know, 3 colors in the whole thing and it's all flat approaches but it gets written off with these like, oh man, you're such a pretentious jackass if you like Wes Anderson type movies.
I think what it comes down to is the same thing as when it comes to classics. If you say The Catcher in the Rye is your favorite book, which it is my favorite book, people are like, Holden Caulfield's not nuanced. He's a spoiled rich kid. And it's like, that's what I relate to.
Yeah.
I don't know how to tell you, like, I'm still a person.
But like if I go on Twitter right now and I'm like, The Tragedy of Macbeth is one of the best Coen Brothers movies ever made, despite the fact that it's only one of the Coen Brothers, I really think it deserves to get a Best Actor or Best Picture nomination over some of this other crap like Dune, just because, like, you know, people aren't really doing movies at 4:3 anymore except Zack Snyder, and, like, you know, people aren't really doing black and white movies anymore, and they're definitely not doing fully original Shakespeare scripts. And like Denzel Washington's performance of this is just so fantastic. Like at that point, if I'm doing that, I'm a jackass, right? Like I get it. I have to make that peace with myself at night. I have to go to sleep having those opinions. I get it. But at the same time, I would be treated the same way.
Where do you stand between Macbeth and Dune? What deserves that 10th spot?
Dune was a bad example, but I've only seen 2 of the damn movies, right? So I can't say like, oh, you know, The Power of the Dog doesn't deserve it.
But I think that's a fair. I think Dune to me sticks out as the sore thumb. Dune and Don't Look Up stick out as the sore thumbs of like, these aren't really art movies.
I mean, Dune is one of the most beautiful movies ever made, in my opinion.
My problem with Dune is
it's not a very good movie, but it is an achievement in science fiction filmmaking.
Yes.
Right. The same way that I think The Tragedy of Macbeth is an achievement in, you know, like fully art dramas of just like
I think the Tragedy of Macbeth actually, I know that it falls into like, I haven't seen it, but I've seen clips. I get the idea. I think it falls into a hybrid category where it shouldn't get a Best Picture nomination because it is essentially the best possible version of the Hamilton Pro Shot.
Okay.
Like, what if we just put the cameras on the stage? Is essentially all it feels like to me from the clips I've seen. It is
not like that.
It's like super minimalist sets, right? And it's black and white.
Not particularly.
No?
I mean, it is like brutalist sets.
Well, maybe I'll have to watch it then. But to me, yeah, that's
like would you call like say you shot a movie in front of one of the pyramids? Would you call that scene minimalism?
I mean, it would depend upon how you did. I wouldn't call like The Mummy minimalist. No.
No, but like say
But
you
if your whole set was sand, pyramid, sky, yeah, that's not what I'm thinking of when I think of the clips I've seen from the tragedy of Macbeth.
Okay. Well, there are several desert scenes, but also like takes place in a lot of like big rooms that are like sparsely decorated.
So let me send you the picture that I'm thinking of. This
Sure.
is about as close to the image I have in my mind. Copy image address, chat. I don't know if it's going to come through. It's in New Yorker, so it might tell you to sign in.
Yeah, no, I get that. I get where you're coming from with minimalism, but like if you imagine like a dolly zoom that just keeps making that room bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I think that's using the camera to do exactly everything the camera can do.
Sure.
Within the confines.
Like it is not extravagantly decorated, but it is big sets.
Yeah. No, I'm curious to watch it because
but it is also not like the stage because it is like a lot of sets.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I've never been a huge Macbeth guy.
Oh, Macbeth is my favorite Shakespeare.
I like the comedies, but I have a hard time with Shakespeare, so I'm curious how I feel about it after watching it. Which I know that's like a thing where it's like you just got to watch a few of them, you've got to read a few of them, and you've also got to like be willing to sit there with a textbook and be like, what the fuck are they talking about? No, it's here?
I mean, you definitely watch it with subtitles.
I listened to Taming of the Shrew one night. It was only like 3 hours long.
Yeah.
And I did not understand a word of it.
Yeah, but I think that's where you need the visual element.
Right.
So Macbeth is, along with Romeo and Juliet, is like pretty easy to understand. Like you're not going to get the finer points of the language. But
so speaking of the finer points of the language, I want to bring this back to Fantastic Mr. Fox. Speaking of the finer points of the language, what do you think Fantastic Mr. Fox is trying to say? Is there a greater thematic point to be made here, or is it simply like paying attention to little nuances between the characters? Your fathers, pay attention to your sons. Husbands and wives, things like that.
I think it's
or is there a greater narrative?
Is there a greater narrative than that?
Yeah.
No. It's a pretty great capital G great narrative.
I guess is there like a social commentary to be made? Like, maybe not social commentary. Is there a allegory beyond?
Bro, I don't think so. This is a Roald Dahl story. This is some little background research he did. This is a Roald Dahl story that he wrote after his first child died. As sort of a like fairy tale outlet for not being able to protect his family. And it's obviously, it's not fully the same story. There are added characters and added subplots, and I don't think that it involved the like bombing of a Flint mine originally.
Maybe.
I haven't read it. But yeah, no, it's mostly just about a father feeling like he can't protect his kids, but also like having to learn to listen to his kids. I think this does a pretty good job of telling both sides of the thing, though, is like, kids, maybe cut your parents some slack. They're doing the best they know how to, but also like, parents, your kids are people and they're going to have ideas and like, you have to listen to them.
Yeah. I mean, that was the relationship between Mr. and Mrs. Fox was, at the end, he kind of has to explain to her, like, I am a wild animal, which I think the metaphor there is that we're all wild animals at the end of the day. Like we've built society and we have this great real estate
But there's
system.
nothing natural about what we're doing.
Right. And I don't think it's like a natural order Joe Rogan sort of thing. I think it's like the natural order of things is like people have ways about them that are antithetical to society's sort of
Sure. And you got a lot of, it's okay to be different in here.
Yeah.
Like a lot of Pixar movies.
I've decided, I think, speaking of
Fantastic
antithetical-
Mr. Sea Monster.
this is my heretical take of the week. I think Luca is about Jesus and John the Baptist or Simon Peter and Mary Magdalene.
In their power thruple.
And it's all the 32 years pre-gospel Jesus, right? Which is why I don't think Simon Peter's a part of it. Maybe not John the Baptist. But I think like Luca plays Jesus because Luca only has traits of his mother. He doesn't look like his father at all. They're not the same color. He's identical to his mother in like every way. And I like this idea of like the Virgin Mary being a strict mom. I think and Joseph being like totally uninvolved. But like the first scene we see of Luca is as a shepherd, like gathering all these little fish sheep. Luca, I mean, very easily can be argued like walks on water, and
Luca is a deeply underrated movie. I just want to say that.
Luke, oh my God. I watched that this weekend.
Like I have not seen Raya and the Last Dragon, nor do I have any intention to. But Disney put some work in this year.
Yeah. Luca's very good.
Right,
Last
Luca
Dragon.
and Encanto and all of the Marvel movies and all of the Star Wars shows. Well, just the one Star Wars show that didn't come out last year. Never mind. All of the Marvel movies and shows.
The Star Wars had a year off, I think, right?
Yeah.
No Din Djarin for a whole year.
Not for a whole year.
And then they couldn't freaking resist, man.
Yeah, for real. No, so I love these Wes Anderson movies and the low stakesness of them, right? Like, I mean, Grand Budapest Hotel sort of deals with the whole Nazism thing a little bit, and like it is sort of more of a high stakes movie than the rest of them, but like Moonrise Kingdom's about some scouts that run away from Edward Norton for the most part. Like they're very just like cozy movies.
Yeah.
And they've always got these incredible there was a question that was asked of me recently that what composer would you want to score the movie of your life? And I think I would pick Alexandre Desplat, who does all the Wes Anderson movies, did the last two Harry Potter movies, but like does these really comfy, cozy soundtrack scores, because like that's the life I would like my movie to be.
Very Huga.
Yeah, because people were like, oh, I would want John Williams, and I'm like, I don't want to be in a John Williams movie.
That sounds stressful.
I want to be in an Alan Silvestri movie, right? Like, I don't want to be in a Hans Zimmer movie or a Ludwig Göransson movie.
I think if John Powell did
I want to be in a Randy Newman movie.
Yeah. If John Powell did my life, then do I get to learn how to fly a dragon?
I wouldn't want to be in a John Powell movie. That sounds terrifying. Being a dragon rider on the island of Berk while it's under siege sounds terrifying. Being a scoutmaster in this cool little island off the coast of Maine sounds dope. Rad. I'd prefer Jack Johnson to Metallica.
I would do Jack Johnson.
That sounds awesome.
And you can't even be like, Jack Johnson's not a film composer. Wrong.
That was we did this on Super Carlin Brothers bonus gaming. This answered this question, and Jack Johnson was your brother Jonathan's choice because of the Curious George movie.
Jonathan loves that album.
Yeah, I mean everybody loves that album. Let's be honest. People that hate Jack Johnson, I don't understand.
It's just part of this whole thing, man.
Like, what has Jack Johnson ever done to any?
They don't like Dave Matthews. They don't like Jack Johnson.
No, I can understand not liking Dave Matthews. I can't understand not liking Jack. I can't imagine hearing Banana Pancakes come on and be like, you know what? Fuck this song. I hate this song.
You know what's so
Fuck
funny?
Billy Currington for covering it.
Yeah, Banana Pancakes might be my least favorite Jack Johnson song.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, it's so comfy.
I'm listening to it
It's like
now.
an armchair, but like a song.
I do love a good armchair.
Can't you see that it's just raining? Ain't no need to go outside. What are the odds this is in tune? Nope. I was gonna play Banana Pancakes, but this is not in tune.
Is that a Martin?
Yeah,
It is?
it's the Ed Sheeran Martin.
Oh.
It's tiny. I didn't buy it. I don't really care about. I mean, I like Ed Sheeran, but like I don't care enough about Ed Sheeran to buy an Ed Sheeran guitar. But I bought it because it's $300 and it was tiny.
Yeah, I love a tiny guitar. Which is unfortunate because all of my guitars are gigantic.
Oh God, those. I didn't get that bar chord quite in tune. It's a little wibbly. Anyway. Love the music in this movie. All of the like Beach Boys and Beach Boys sounding songs, and also all of the original score. Fantastic.
The whole thing was good. Who would direct the movie of your life, Ethan?
Who would direct the movie of my life? That's a tough one. Because, like, if you made a movie about me right now, I mean, I don't think I've done the thing that would get me a movie made about me yet. But, you know, I've been through some stuff, right? Mm-hmm. So it'd have to be somebody capable of handling those kind of things in a very like almost Stranger Than Fiction kind of way.
I actually have the Google search who directed Stranger Than Fiction up right now.
Who did direct Stranger Than Fiction?
It was Mark Forster, who also did Quantum of Solace, World War Z, Monsters Ball, Kite Runner.
And Christopher Robin.
Christopher Robin. Yep.
Finding Neverland.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. That's not a bad choice, honestly. I mean, World War Z is a little weird thrown in there. Maybe Kenneth Branagh.
Why Kenneth Branagh?
Because he just does a lot of like cozy movies.
Does he?
Yeah.
Jack Ryan, Murder on the Orient Express, Thor.
I didn't know Kenneth Branagh did a Jack Ryan movie. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Jack Ryan's Shadow Recruit.
Wild.
Artemis Fowl.
Yeah. I heard that
He
movie.
did Belfast.
Yeah, he did Belfast. I don't know what Belfast is, but it sounds cozy.
It doesn't look cozy. It looks like Jojo Rabbit, but significantly more serious.
I mean, I wouldn't mind a Taika Waititi movie.
I don't think my life, like, I wouldn't mind that at all, but I don't think that's the answer for me.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But I don't know, man. Who would direct the movie of my life?
So you gotta handle...
I feel like now I can't say Wes Anderson, right? Like, that's cheating.
Why
But
not?
I think that's the movie I think I would most like to live inside of is a Wes Anderson movie. Maybe like maybe like Paul Thomas Anderson. Maybe like who did
Here we go. This is me right here. Nancy Myers.
Who's Nancy Myers?
This is some credits. I think if you were to do a movie My Life up to date, you would have, I think, a story of love and loss. I think loss is probably not the right word, but like I've had the tragedies of my life have been romantic and career driven.
Okay.
So I think that's kind of where I think you'd find the heart in it, is this like consistent failure and the positive attitude that drives through, but also like the struggles with depression and stuff like that. Anyway, Nancy Myers did The Parent Trap, Something's Gotta Give, The Holiday, It's Complicated, What Women Want. Boom. Father of the Bride Part 1 and 2.
That's not a bad choice.
Actually, Father of the Bride, I think Father of the Bride, a remake for the millennial father. Because my biggest complaint about Father of the Bride is that like I could never be as awful as Steve Martin is at the start of that movie.
Oh, sure.
Like
Yeah.
if my daughter came to me and was like, I'm getting married, we're doing it at the house, I'd be like, I don't care. We'll find the money.
Well, Father of the Bride
Anything.
in 2022 has to deal with the fact that his daughter's gay, right? Like,
Right. She brought home a woman.
yeah.
I think that's Father of the Bride in 2012, to be honest with you. I think
So-
Father of the Bride in 2022, the father doesn't care that the daughter's gay.
That's true. But like I can't even imagine like what the dad gets mad at these days.
Yeah, I just
So
feel like...
you said Something's Gotta Give, which is a Jack Nicholson movie, and it always I mix it up with it because I don't think I've ever seen it. But I mix it up with a different Jack Nicholson movie called As Good as It Gets, which is a movie that I would want.
This is one with Diane Keaton.
No, yeah, I know which one it is. I don't think I've seen it though. But yeah, As Good as It Gets is a movie you should really watch.
That's a dog movie.
It is a dog movie. It is a fantastic movie. It's one of my favorites. That person also directed Spanglish, and that is James L.
As Good as It Gets is Helen Hunt, baby.
Yeah. No, it's a fantastic movie. You should watch. But yeah, so James L. Brooks directed, also directed Spanglish. So I think that's a good pick. What I did look up was Peter Weir. Peter Weir directed, which I didn't know this about Peter Weir. Peter Weir directed Dead Poet Society, which I did know
And
about
Truman
him.
Show.
But he also directed The Truman Show. It's like that's not a bad get. But here's the problem with Peter Weir. He also directed Master and Commander of the Far Side of the World, which is a little bit complicated, right? Because like you'd be pretty safe with Bruckheimer until you get to Ghost Pirates. Or no, Bruckheimer didn't even direct those. You'd be pretty safe with Gore Verbinski, I believe, until you get to Ghost Pirates.
He produced those.
He did.
I do feel like Prince of Persia: The Sands of Time is
Cuarón.
Alfonso Cuarón directs my life.
Cuarón. Well, if I had to pick, and if I had to pick a Hispanic or Latino director, it would have to be Cuarón, right? I can't do Guillermo del Toro. I would not survive in Pan's Labyrinth.
You can't do Lin-Manuel?
Oh yeah, I could. Yeah. I was thinking of
Lin-Manuel would look at my life and
of
be
AJ
like,
Inarritu, who did
Lin-Manuel would look at my life and be
Birdman.
like, this has got way too much privilege in it.
Tyler, we forgot somebody.
Homst.
I got two words for you. First name and last name. Greta Gerwig.
Greta Gerwig, I would be sacrificed at an altar. My life history in a Greta Gerwig movie would not fly.
Did Greta Gerwig do Midsummer?
Yeah.
She did?
I thought so, right?
I don't think so.
No, Ari Aster.
Yeah. No, Greta Gerwig did Little Women and Lady Bird.
I've actually still not seen Lady Bird.
Oh, no. Hold on. Tyler.
Greta Gerwig doesn't look like what you think, by the way, in case you're curious.
Yeah, she does.
That's what you thought Greta Gerwig was going to look like?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah. Tyler, we've forgotten somebody important. Now, there's one problem here that I'm going to list. Hang on. That's not the right. Yeah. No. Yeah. Yeah, that's the right guy. We've forgotten about John Chu.
John Chu?
John Chu did In the Heights. John Chu did Crazy Rich Asians. John Chu did Now You See Me Too.
Who plays Ethan in the movie of his life?
I don't know who. It can't be Corden. He's older than me.
I know. So that's kind of like a weird.
They just
problem.
talked about this. Is literally a bit they just did on My Brother and Me that I thought was one of the best bits I've ever heard of. Is like who do you pick to eventually play you in a movie? Like if they made a movie about you, if they made a movie about old you right now, who plays you?
The first name that came to mind for you and not for me was Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson.
Because think about this. Pete Davidson has been through a lot of the same tragedies you
Yeah,
have.
absolutely.
Has lots of tattoos.
Yeah.
Lots of bad tattoos. You know?
I'm
funny
very
guy.
proud of most of my tattoos.
I like your
And the ones
tattoos.
that I'm not proud of are covered by my sick Joe Burrow jersey.
Who would play me? God, see, there's no way to answer this because you have to answer like a handsome person, right? And there's no way to answer this without being like, I think I look like Tom Holland. I don't think that. I'm just older than Tom Holland.
You know who I'd pick right now?
To play me?
Yeah.
Whomst?
Bo Burnham.
Oh, that would be a good one.
Yeah. I think he would nail it.
Yeah.
You gotta watch Promising Young Woman. Oh my God.
I know he's in it.
Yeah. Carey Mulligan from The Great Gatsby's in it. God, what a movie. But like
Carey
Bo
Mulligan.
Burnham in that movie is incredible.
God, you know who would end up playing me in the movie of my life is like Noah Schnapp.
Who's Noah Schnapp?
They would have Noah Schnapp playing me. He plays Will in Stranger Things, and Gaten Matarazzo playing you.
I would take that, sir.
You know what's stupid, actually, is because if they had to write Chris into the story, I would be Finn Wolfhard, and Chris would be Noah Schnapp.
No, Chris would be Finn Wolfhard.
Finn Wolfhard has a Jufro. Okay.
That's true. That is true.
I don't know if that's an offensive thing to say, but that's what people said I had in high school.
You are Polish.
Joe Keery can play me in the movie of my life. Sold. So can Charlie Heaton. So can Winona Ryder.
If they made a movie about you and I and it was Joe Keery and Charlie Heaton, I would not be upset.
I would be so jazzed. If
Who's the kid that
Natalia
plays
Dyer,
Harry Osborn in The Amazing Spider-Man? He would make a
ouch.
good you.
Is that what
kid
I look
from-
like?
The guy from Chronicle.
Yeah.
You know who would make a good you? And this is a legitimately compliment, I think. Dylan O'Brien.
Dylan O'Brien. He's the dude that Becca likes.
He was Percy Jackson. Yeah.
Oh, that's not the dude that Becca likes then.
Yeah, it is. It's one of them.
No, I'm thinking of I am thinking Dylan O'Brien.
Yeah. Or Logan Lerman.
Logan Lerman is Percy Jackson.
No, Dylan O'Brien's Percy Jackson.
No,
Yes.
he's not.
He's not?
No,
Who's Dylan O'Brien?
Dylan O'Brien is in the Maze Runner.
Oh, okay. Becca likes both of them.
He's Thomas.
I mean, I figured. I'll tell you what, I cannot, because Thomas Brody Sangster plays Newt, right?
Yeah.
I cannot see that at all.
No, Will Poulter could do a good Newt. He was Galley.
Will Poulter plays what's his name? Scotta, right? The leader.
No, he plays Galley.
Does he really?
Mm-hmm. He's a villain in the first one.
Logan Lerman was Percy Jackson. Logan Lerman and Dylan O'Brien are the same person.
All I know is Will Poulter's been cast as Adam Warlock, which I think is a lock of a casting.
Wait, I thought Kit Harington was Adam Warlock.
No, Kit Harington is from Eternals.
Right. As Adam
That's
Warlock.
No, that's not Adam Warlock.
It's not? Who's Adam Warlock?
Adam Warlock's the end of Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. The lady, like, painted in gold is like, we have a secret weapon. And they point to, like a basically like what they have Walt Disney in now, like a cryo chamber, and there's like a gold person inside.
Okay.
That's Adam Warlock. Adam Warlock in the comics, like, beat Thanos with his arms behind his back or something.
Then who's Kit Harington playing?
His character is named Black Knight.
This is what I get for listening to TikTok. Oh my god, have you seen the fucking trailer for Moon Knight?
Yeah, briefly. I haven't watched it all the way through.
Holy shit. It looks
really good. I'll tell you this.
God.
Lay
Oscar
Me Down by
Isaac,
the Dirty Heads.
How much
also
money do I have to
sounds
pay for Oscar Isaac to play me in the movie about me?
good. A lot.
What if it was I mean, I know, listeners.
Here's what you and Oscar Isaac have in common.
No. Tyler, just shut up for 2 seconds. Listeners, I understand what I'm about to say comes with the heavy price that Tyler and I are both white. But, like, it is not my fault that most of the best actors right now are Latino. I would love for a movie about you and I to be Pedro Pascal and Oscar Isaac. And I don't care which one
Pascal's
I get to be.
playing me.
I don't care which one I get to be. But, like, if they made Bacon and Eggs a movie lovers movie right now, I think that's who I'd pick. Although, honestly, the fact that you said that Pete Davidson could play me in a movie, that really, like, got to me.
Well, I mean, Pete Davidson can play you in a movie.
That was just a super nice thing you said.
He's a funny guy. He's a tragedy guy. He's a Carhartt beanie guy.
I feel some camaraderie with Pete Davidson as a person.
I feel like
I feel the need to defend Pete Davidson.
Pete Davidson and you probably have weird feelings about 9/11.
Probably.
Because it's like, well, this was, like, obviously awful. But, like, the nationalism thing is weird to me. But also, this is really bad.
Oh, no, it's the Olympics, baby. We're doing the Winter Olympics right now. This is the most nationalistic I get.
I know. You're all about them Winter Olympics.
I love the Winter Olympics, man. This is
There's
the first
not
Winter
any
Olympics without
you
my...
know there's no swimming in the Winter Olympics.
This is the first Winter Olympics since my mom passed, and that has been a really hard thing.
I'm sorry
This was like our thing. So it's been a little weird, I'll be honest with you. But, like, I love the Winter Olympics. Like, it's cool to like curling now, but I'm like a curling hipster.
I knew this was going to happen one day where curling would get popular.
I did too, man, because I remember 2006, the Torino, Italy Olympics, 2006, they would play curling from like 5 a.m. to 8 a.m., right? When we were in high school, not middle school, before my dad would take me to school, before the bus would take me to school. Yeah, I was riding the bus then. I would get up every morning during the Winter Olympics that year and watch curling for like 3. I would wake up at 5 a.m. to watch curling because I was so enthralled with it, being like 13 years old. I love the Winter Olympics. Apollo Ono, man, what a guy. Bodie Miller.
Shaun White.
Shaun White. We lost slopestyle snowboarding for the first time in both men's and women's categories. Granted, this is only the third Olympics it's been included in, but we did lose it for the first time ever.
I think the U.S. isn't going to win the medal count this year.
I don't think we've gotten a single gold yet.
Yeah, I think it's not our year.
We're getting freaking crushed. Our mixed doubles team lost curling.
It makes you wonder
in the group stage.
Makes you wonder what kind of impact COVID had on the slopes.
Oh, they will not stop talking about it.
I mean, like, if you can't fly, how do you get to Utah?
You don't?
How do you shred gnar if you can't fly?
You don't. Apparently Australia has year-round snow. I didn't know this. Apparently, like, Australia and New Zealand have year-round snow.
Well, yeah, they're like right next to Antarctica.
I just didn't know this, right? So, like, all the Australian skiers and New Zealand skiers and snowboarders have been doing fantastic. They're like, yeah, they've the only ones that have been able to train properly. But like, we're losing figure skating. Man,
I hit the Slope Daddies this year for the first time.
I saw
in like 6 years. I freaking love the snow. I actually may. So I mean, this is some rich people complaints right here, and I'm not rich, so take this whole story with a grain of salt. When we look at vacation homes, I have shifted from Lake House to Wintergreen, Virginia house.
Ski chalet.
I love that town in a way I cannot describe.
Yeah, no, it was cool when we spent the weekend up there before it was even open.
I mean, dude, it is so cool.
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. There's something about that area that just like really speaks to me.
Yeah, dude, same.
And I've been a lake house dreamer for a long time because the lake's not far.
Yeah.
And the lake
Same.
is like the best.
Like, you got all the breweries and wineries up there, and they're awesome. There's good golfing year round. There's, it's cool. It's neat. Wintergreen's a neat little place. Like the skateboarding. The skiing and snowboarding is like not the greatest, but also like I can't ski.
No, see you can't ski, but like I would argue
I want to try it again.
It's not snowshoe and it's not Vermont, but snowshoe and Vermont still aren't Utah.
Yeah.
Still aren't Colorado. Still aren't Aspen. Like, yeah, snowshoe's as good as it's going to get in the Mid-Atlantic, and Vermont's is going to get on the East Coast.
Yeah,
but it's still not Colorado.
It's not the Rockies. Yeah,
right. It's not like you still have to go there because once you go there, if you're like, yeah, normally we snowshoe out in
you have to get on an
Virginia.
airplane,
right? And so to me, it's like,
man, yeah. And
there's good. I like the slopes at Wintergreen, and they have the best. They have in the Mid-Atlantic. They have the best manufactured snow.
Yeah.
So that to me is a selling point as well. And that restaurant, dude, that food at that restaurant, I don't know if we were just exhausted from golfing. That's probably one of the best meals I've had in the last 365 days.
We were exhausted and hungover from golfing, but that doesn't change the fact that the food was good though.
Yeah.
Because every time you go there from now on, you will always be hungover from golfing in your mind.
Right. So I think if you're on a vacation hunt and you're looking for a getaway, something inexpensive, Wintergreen, Virginia is Virginia's best kept secret. And I'm sure Wintergreen doesn't want to be a secret. I'm sure the marketing team at Wintergreen's like, shut up, man. We're really trying out here.
No, I think they're perfectly happy.
I think so too. Because I was there when we were there.
Well, because like, if you remember,
when we were there, their rental place was sold out of skis and snowboards.
Yeah.
And it was not too crowded to ski. That to me.
Yeah, you were there in December or mid-January.
Yeah.
Arguably, like, still barely the season.
Yeah.
But yeah, I remember, like, because Wintergreen and Massanutten is where it's the Virginia Beach of skiing.
No, disagreed.
No, it is because it's where the people from like the East Coast go. It's like if we're gonna go somewhere to go skiing and snowboarding, we go to like Snowshoe.
Right.
They go to Wintergreen. Like the ski shop in Port Warwick used to do like weekend trips to Wintergreen every weekend.
They had ski shops. That's a tough business.
Yeah, believe it.
A lot of the year there's no ski.
There's a lot of the year there's no ski.
When you live here in the Mid-Atlantic, it can be rough.
It can be rough.
We're taking a weekend trip to Liberty University to go down a 200-foot slope.
Made of turf.
It's the worst. It's kind of cool at first. But then it's kind of the worst.
Yeah, then it's kind of the worst. Man, and this Winter Olympics, man, it's been good. They got big air snowboarding and skiing in the disused nuclear power plant.
That's some stuff straight out of a Bioshock
And like our friend Chris
game.
is like, yo, China's so weird. And I was like, yeah, but the photos are sweet. Because they've got like the big Beijing logo on top of one of the cooling towers, and they've got pictures of these snowboarders just like skiers like flying in the air with just that behind them.
Yeah.
No snow in sight. Also, like big air skiers and snowboarders have gotten crazy over the last 4 years because they're doing like 1900 degree method grabs.
Yeah. I mean, this is
1900. You remember when Shaun White landed the 900? Tony Hawk landed the first 900 in skateboarding ever. These skiers are out here like, yeah, we're going to do a cool 2100.
To be fair, to get high enough on a skateboard to do
for sure.
It's not the same
For
as doing
sure.
it off a big air jump.
Yeah, and they're not doing that in the half pipe, but
Right. And Tony Hawk's landing on wood
yeah.
or concrete.
Man, snowboarding is not something that I would have thought that men were like that much better at than women in the Olympics.
I would have no
I would
frame
have
of
assumed
reference here.
that being lighter and smaller gave you an advantage.
And I would have thought the center of gravity shift would have helped women.
Give you an advantage. But like, I watched women's slopestyle snowboarding and they were like, oh, she went for a 1080 there. That's incredible. And they're like, and the men's are like, oh, this guy's in last place, just did a 1520. What is he even doing? And I was like, good God.
I'd be so dizzy.
I would be so dizzy. My knees would explode.
Your knees would explode. Didn't we put you on a set of skis one time and you were like, no.
Yeah, I tried it. It was I don't know, like the point where my knees go the weakest is like the exact like activation point of where you need to ski at. Mm-hmm. But also, like, I was at Snowshoe. I didn't know what I was doing, and the guy I was with didn't do a good job of teaching me anything.
Wintergreen, they got classes.
Yeah, they got classes at Snowshoe too, but they don't have like bunny slopes.
They have Bunny Mountain.
Yeah. That's the thing is, like, I think I should go back and go to Wintergreen and just like take a class, do the thing. So I went with Chris, and Chris is like, oh, you don't need a class, I'll teach you. And I was like, I think I might need the class.
I think there's no shame in the class.
I wanted to take the class.
Yeah.
I was the one that brought it up. He's like, nah, you don't need the class, I'll teach you. And I'm like, well, it's just me and him going.
It's a learning curve thing is what it
Yeah.
is. So it's like,
I think I'd rather snowboard anyway.
I mean, okay. Do that.
Yeah,
Do
no,
whatever you want, man.
I'm not saying you're telling me not to. I'm vocalizing like what I would. I was hoping we were going to do this when we went, but we went the weekend before the slopes opened.
Yeah. It was a completely different town with the slopes open.
Oh, I believe it. But it's the same deal as like I would buy a house at Holden Beach and go there for January.
Yeah, and I think I would do the same thing if we went for the mountain house thing. Is like, I would absolutely pick weekends in the summer to be like, I'm going to the mountain house.
I would go up there in July and just chill.
Right, like this is my.
It's 20
quiet-
degrees cooler. I can go to the brewery
Yeah,
and play golf. It's fine.
and I think the more I'm getting this in the hash browns, we talked about things we've learned about ourselves. I think the older I get, the more I realize I do need. I think this is like where quarter life crisis or half life midlife crises come from, but like I need my own space,
Yeah.
if that makes sense. Like,
Yeah.
in our house, Emily now works from home, and so like what was once my man cave room where I was recording this show, if you're watching, you can obviously see that. I think this is the first video we have in the dungeon.
No, Boba Fett was the last Boba Fett was video.
Okay, well, if this is your first time watching the dungeon, obviously I've moved, but like having this space down here to come to and kind of just like gather my thoughts and be myself, even though you can't see on the video, but it's absolutely cluttered with just nonsense. The fact that it's like my own spot is so incredibly beneficial. And that's, I think one of the biggest things I learned about myself in my 20s is that I am an introvert.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a very social person. And I think that's one of the reasons personality tests I always struggled with, is because I would get to the end and be like, I would answer questions being like, I need it to think I'm an extrovert.
Yeah.
Because I'm a very social and comfortably social person.
Yeah.
But
and those two things just aren't related at all.
Yeah. I get my energy from my alone time.
Yeah, same. I got to charge up.
Yeah. I need time on the Peloton or watching TV or watching movies or just sitting. And I wasn't getting that.
Yeah, that's been honestly one of my biggest adjustments to going back to work full time. It's just like having days. What?
You got to talk to people.
It's not even that I got to talk to people. It's just like having days where I don't get a minute to myself.
Yeah.
Like today, I woke up, I, hung out with the dog for an hour and a half. I went to therapy. I went to work. I came home. I watched a movie. I played with the dog. I saw my fiance for 20 minutes, and then I came and recorded with you.
Yeah.
And so, like, I'm going to wake up tomorrow still pretty drained.
Yeah.
That is definitely an adjustment I've had to make.
I feel the same way. Like, so, yeah, I mean,
and even today I was like, man, I can't schedule therapy on recording days ever again.
Really?
I mean, I like therapy. Like, I like going to therapy, but it's just like, it is, I usually go at either 8 or 9 in the morning.
Yeah.
And then go work full day. And I'm just like, by the time I get home and then watch the movie, and I've hung out with Pickles that whole time that I've been home, and he's just like super high key all the time. I'm just like, man, I got to turn it on for 2 hours now. And then once I'm done, I'm done.
Yeah. And yeah. I've run into the same thing where like,
no, I'm fully sure that it is way worse for you because you have multiple children.
Yeah. And I do a lot of like the cooking and cleaning and,
yeah.
and diaper changing. And, so that's challenging, but like, it's not like none of that stuff is challenging. I don't think it's any different than what you're going through, except the sleep thing, which I don't know if Pickles is sleeping through the night. Currently, Finn is not.
Yeah, Pickles is
really messing me up.
Pickles is, yeah. It's just a matter of like, a lot of times, like I don't get to sleep when I want to because like, I'm working on things. Like I've been taking Udemy classes to try to learn different like design skills and stuff. And like,
yeah,
I've been doing that kind of, so like either editing or recording, and then I'll stay up for another hour and change after that and like work on stuff. And like, I'm not complaining about that. It's just, it is definitely by the time like this weekend, I did nothing. I watched the Olympics for 3 days and I sat on the couch and ate way too much takeout. And
nice.
Like, I came to work Monday morning, like ready to go. Let's get this bread. And that was kind of a new experience for me, especially for the last like couple years, because like for most of quarantine, I was just like, okay, cool. I see my friends every other couple weeks, maybe after a time.
Well, and that was challenging for me through, I mean, obviously, like I'm making this about myself and I shouldn't because we're talking about you, but I'll just make this one point and then we'll get back to it.
We're talking about, we are talking about ourselves.
Yes. And that was a challenge for me over the last few years is like, if you wanted to hang out and I just needed to recharge, I didn't feel like that was an excuse not to hang out because I know how rare it is that we both have theoretically free time.
And I'm sure that there are times that you've done it, because I know there are times that I've done it, where like one of us has hit the other up and we've just been like, man, I'm going to concoct an excuse or whatever. Really, I'm just chilling. Just not doing it.
Not now. Not today.
Now. Yeah. And honestly, I think that's, as long as we're talking about silver linings, which we weren't, but like another silver lining of COVID is I think it is sort of given everybody the universal excuse, right? Because at this point, we're deep enough into the COVID thing where if you text me and you want to hang out, I'm totally comfortable with being like, yeah, dude, not today.
Yeah.
love you to death, man, but like I just can't. It is not gonna happen.
Yeah.
I don't want to be around you. You don't want to be around me. Nobody wants to be around anybody. It's not happening. Just not doing it.
Here's one. I've recently started really dialing into a calendar system.
Yeah,
I'm never available.
that's fair.
It has very much opened my eyes getting it on paper. It's not on paper, it's digital, but like putting it in front of me, like I do a lot of stuff. And what I used to do is I would be like, oh, I'll put personal stuff in my Google Calendar and work stuff in my work calendar. I put everything in my work calendar because I've got it on my phone.
Yeah.
And it's like, this is the wrong app. Let me pull it up. Like, save changes. There we go. Let's, oh, Finn might be waking up. I mean, look at this. I have stuff.
Yeah,
all the
that's
time.
a lot of stuff.
All the time. The next day I have nothing, as I guess this Friday, but I have something Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Friday I have nothing, down again. And then Saturday, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, vacation for a week. Really, I don't have 2 days in a row where I have nothing going on. I don't know if vacation is vacation, but I'm going to Disney with my kids. Like, I love Disney. I'm going to have a blast. It's not relaxing.
Yeah, you're going to come home more tired than you would after a week of work.
Right. The next time I have 2 days in a row with nothing going on is March 5th and 6th. And I think that's probably because it's so far away and I will absolutely add something.
Yeah. Yeah, and for me, it was like, you know, I started working more at your brother's, then I started working full-time at your brother's, and I got a puppy, and we started recording Late to the Party again, and the Hawkeye and Mandalorian came back for the first time since Loki, all basically at the same time, and so now it's like February 7th or whatever, and I'm just like, God, I'm wore out, man.
It's tough.
Like everything is like settled at this point. Like we got 2 weeks left of Boba Fett, or 1 week left of Boba Fett. We're chilling. You know, work is calming down. I'm used to it. Pickles is sort of mellowing out a little tiny bit. And we're getting back in a rhythm late to the party. It's all kind of settling down. And I'm just now looking around like, I was holding my breath for a while there, man. Like, so like, I'm stoked that this week we got to watch a Wes Anderson movie. And last week we got to watch a movie almost entirely about fly fishing. We're just vibing.
And next week we get to watch a horror about a high school girl eating men.
I don't think it's a horror.
A thriller?
I mean, I don't think it's scary. Like, I don't think you're going to watch. Also, we don't have to do it.
I think we do.
You responded pretty wild because I was like, yo, we could do Jennifer's Body, because in the past you were like, man, I should watch Jennifer's Body on this podcast. And you were like, I have little interest in seeing Jennifer's Body. And I don't know if that's how you meant it when you said it. I'm doubting it's how you meant it when you said it, but when I read it and you said, I have little interest in watching Jennifer's Body, I was like, okay, man, sorry. The brainworms got me big on that one. I was just like, oh, I offended him. No, which is probably, honestly, not in any way the case, I'm imagining. Or if it was just a weird moment for you.
No, I just, I mean, we don't do a lot of like that sort of genre of stuff.
Yeah, but it was definitely one of those ones where I was like, he keeps bringing this movie up.
I mean, I'll watch it. Whatever.
Yeah, no, that's fine. It was just your reaction was so shocking to me that I was like, oh God, okay, maybe he hates this movie.
I do want to know. I want to see Megan Fox and Amanda Seyfried in a movie together.
I want to see whatever causes Jeff Daniels to be like, I'm gonna cut your fucking dick off, bro.
Is Jeff Daniels in Jennifer's Body?
I think so. I think he's the dad.
Sure. Why not?
It might not be Jeff Daniels. Somebody like Jeff Daniels.
Jeff Daniels could play me in the movie of my life.
Yeah, and then eventually we're going to watch this really dark Batman movie that's coming out. Pat Bat. Yeah, it looks really good. But I'm enjoying
like 3
this
hours long.
I'm enjoying this vibey this vibey period we've got going on.
Well, and we've also got Temuera Morrison being like, all right, well, I'm the
daimyo.
I'm the daimyo.
I'm going to be the daimyo. And you and I, we're not going to fight.
I didn't like. I'm not going to spoil Boba Fett on this
So
show.
I've been taking this class on how to use Adobe Illustrator because it's like the one Adobe Suite program that I don't know how to use at this point. And I need it from time to time to make my cool little motion graphics. Like I had to make a Pokeball the other day, and I didn't know how to make a Pokeball in Adobe Illustrator. So I bought a class on Udemy for like $11, and the guy that presents it is from New Zealand and has that like Boba Fett accent. And he's just like, so what are you going to do here? You're going to grab the lasso tool, and we're going to draw it around this shape, and then you in this shape are going to have a lot of fun together. And I'm just like sitting there falling asleep, just like, man, this is so...
I'm the daimyo?
I'm the daimyo of Adobe Illustrator. Have you seen that white British comedian talking about the first time he met a Maori?
No.
I'll have to find it on TikTok. I said he's one of the funniest things I've ever heard. He's like in Australia or New Zealand, I guess, like doing a show, and he's just like, "You people have Maori. They're massive." And they just look down at you like, "Don't be scared, bruv."
All right, Ethan, it's time to talk scores.
It's time to talk scores, which means I got to do math.
I am punching numbers into a spreadsheet.
I am not anywhere near close to that. Tyler, while I do this, why don't you read us some listener reviews of this movie?
Sure. Let me pull them up on my cell phone, because Discord never works on my computer. Sails to steam in your belly.
Are you listening to Jimmy Buffett right now?
You have ever seen.
How do you listen to music while we do this show?
When you said Banana Pancakes, I put on Banana Pancakes radio, and it's been on the whole time.
And actually,
I'm listening to Jack Johnson.
Tyler, I think this is your ADHD superpower.
Why?
Because I couldn't do that, man. I could not participate in this podcast. People think I'm crazy because I listen to podcasts and play video games at the same time.
No, I think you're crazy
podcast and listen to music at the same time.
I think you're crazy because you take a sip of water, hold it in your cheeks, and keep talking to me.
Oh my God, why do you have to keep putting me on blast about this thing that I do subconsciously? I've done it my whole life. I can't help it.
I've got a review here from the Mighty Toothless, 88 out of 100. Woo! That was a yawn. It was my first Wes Anderson movie, and I've never looked back. We got a review here from fellow CNU captain Ashton Stout. What? Hi, Ashton. 90 out of 100. My second Wes Anderson film, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. The score is fantastic. I've got a score here from Go Tory on the Mountain, the #1 greatest Discord nickname I've ever assigned. 100 out of 100. This movie is perfect. That totally lines up for former Latter-day Saint, still lives in Utah.
I am a Latter-day Saint. I help for all mankind. I believe the Lord God created the universe.
I used to be able to hit that note, man. I
could probably still do it. Not quietly.
I believe. It's not there.
Not quietly.
It's not there.
Not in an apartment at 10:45 p.m.
I'm in a dungeon.
Anyway, Go Tory on the Mountain. Oh, you already read the review. Never mind.
This movie is perfect. 100 out of 100.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I've got a listener score. Why does that word have a T in it?
Listener. It's
nobody says listener.
It comes from the root listerine.
Yeah.
Which is an anagram of listener.
It's the sauce that you drink and then your mouth sounds funny.
I would say the sauce is boss.
The sauce is boss. I've got a listener score.
Okay.
It's 89.25.
89.25 brings the total value to 89.4125, which of course rounds down to an 89. which on the big board puts
That
it,
makes it the daimyo?
makes it the daimyo, makes it just above White Christmas, just below Tick Tick Boom, which I would say is a totally fair landing spot.
I think I don't know that I liked this as much as White Christmas, but I don't like it as much as Tick Tick Boom.
I didn't like this. No, I didn't like White Christmas nearly as much as this.
Yeah, I like White Christmas a lot more than you do. But I love Tick Tick Boom. Although, in fact, I think I gave that an unironic 100. Not in the
You
way that
love
I
Tick
gave
Tick
an ironic 100 to He's the Man by featuring Addison Rae. Addison Rae came up on my For You page the other day, and I was like, man, I really gave this girl 100 out of 100 on Bacon and Eggs.
I've used the phrase
She was doing that like,
douche.
Come and go, brah, but you know I stay sound.
You ever come across creators like that and you're like, I have no idea what popular TikTok looks like.
I have no. That's the closest I think I've ever gotten to popular TikTok. And 90% of the reason I know that sound is because of girls doing it to their dogs, and the other 10% is that animated video of Grogu and the Mandalorian doing it to each other. Where Luke is levitating a bunch of Kermit the Frogs for Baby Yoda to eat. But yeah, I don't know what popular TikTok looks like, man. I guess when they did that love story thing where they pushed the skateboard back, that was pretty close.
All right, Ethan, I need you to take us out.
All right, Tyler, I can take you out. Bacon and Egg is a production of the WB&E Podcast Network. For more podcasts like the one you're listening to and other great podcasts, go to WBNE.org right now, or look for any of our shows wherever podcasts are sold or given away for free. If you want to hear some thoughts about another Wes Anderson movie, you can listen to the episode I did with Ines Fuenmayor of Sincerely Us about Grand Budapest and also about Isle of Dogs. And
you can also listen to Ines Fuenmayor and Casey Winters talk about Fantastic Mr. Fox
on the archive episodes of Hello from Elsewhere.
Yeah.
And anyway, this is a preview right now for Sincerely Us. Eni, we miss you big time, and I hope you're doing well.
Dear listener, today's going to be a good day, and here's why.
Because today we have found your new favorite podcast.
Do you like all things musical theater?
Or do you just like Hamilton?
Then Sincerely Us is perfect for you.
We take deep dives into modern musicals and teach you all that you need to know.
From props and sets
to playwrights and composers,
we will get you caught up on all things Broadway.
We are Becca and Eni, two best friends,
here to teach you all about the shows that we love.
Sincerely Us, a podcast for the casual musical theater fan.
Join us every Wednesday wherever you get your podcasts and on WBNE.org.
Our graphics are by Vaishon Brandon, Vaishon Designs on Instagram, and our music by Andrew Scott Bell, AndrewScottBellMusic.com if you need music or podcast graphics. Hit either of those people up. They do wonderful work, and they do it quickly. I love both of them. They're dear, dear friend of mine. And another dear friend of mine is Tyler Carlin, the co-host of this show. And on behalf of Tyler Carlin, until next time, arrivederci.
Quote, unquote, fantastic, Mr. Fox.